Ever dream of something a little bit more meaningful than what maybe what you're doing? I mean, even as you're wiping away these precious and beautiful fingerprints that you love so much, or you're reheating your cup of coffee for the second or third time, but you're dreaming of something more. Maybe you're wanting to learn a skill, or you have a passion project that you'd like to do. Maybe you want to create more balance in your life. Whatever it is, I'm here to share with you today a powerful habit building framework, and it's designed really for busy moms. Hello, beautiful mamas. I'm Debbie Page, and I'm here to help you embrace your journey of motherhood with intention, grace, and joy. So, today we're going to talk about how to transform dreams into reality while juggling motherhood. You know, one of the most common questions that I get from young moms, older moms, grandmothers is, how do I make time for my dreams while being present with my children? Or how do I make time for my dreams while I'm working? All of us, I totally believe, need to take time and make time for our dreams. I got to a point in my life where someone asked me, well, what is your dream? And I said, uh, I don't I don't have a dream. And I realized that I did. They were just buried so deeply that I was not even aware of them. Well, I was a single mom for 9 years, and I was raising three children, and I was working full time. And you don't have a whole lot of time when you're doing that to think of your dreams. But when this person said that to me, and I started to think, yes, what are my dreams? So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, it's just a really simple thing that you can do. And the first thing, you're just going to get started. And to get started, I want you to carve out a little bit of quiet time. It's not going to be much. It doesn't have to be much, maybe 15 minutes if you can spare that. If not, 5 minutes. And find a time when you can do that. Maybe it's early in the morning before the rest of the family's awake. Maybe it's when other children are having naps and quiet time. Maybe it's right after bedtime that you could sneak in just about 15 minutes, something like that, and start to think about your dreams. So the first thing I want you to do is what I love to call the dream download. Grab a piece of paper or your journal, and I just want you to start to write down 10 things that you would like to see happen in your life over the next 12 months. Those 10 things can be things like organize your pantry. That was on my list for a good while. It could be that you would like to release 10 pounds. Maybe it's that you want to create the habit of walking every day. Maybe you have a dream of building new friendships, or at least finding one new friend. But I want you to think of dreams that make your heart flutter, because you want to get in touch with what your heart is feeling. You want to connect that with your brain or with your head. So maybe, you're wanting to learn an instrument, maybe again, you want some consistent exercise. But whatever it is, it's your dream. Nobody else is going to pass judgment on it. I don't want you judging it. I want you just dumping it out. I find that writing with your pencil or pen really connects very well with your brain, and it helps you to get things out. If you find that you would much rather type it, you can do that. You can also speak it. You can use your voice recorder on your phone. There are many different ways, and just find what works for you. But remember, we're not going to complicate it. We're going to keep all of this really simple, sweetheart. And you're going to just write down 10 dreams. Okay, now the next thing is the transformation target. You're going to look at those 10 dreams, and you're going to ask, okay, if my fairy godmother were to show up right now, and yes, she's going to do the dishes and she's going to dust the house, what dream would completely transform your life in 24 hours if that dream were already true? So think about the dream that would have the biggest impact on you. Circle it, star it, draw hearts around it, highlight it, do whatever you want to do to really make it stand out and jump out on that piece of paper or from your journal. And this is going to be your North Star. It's going to be guiding your next steps. So step 3 is your mama's roadmap, and you're going to take that life-changing dream, grab a fresh piece of paper. Now you're going to brain dump everything needed to make it happen. What skills do you need to develop? What resources are needed? Who could help? Don't worry about the order or the focus on clarity. So I just want to give you an example of a friend of mine who had this long burning desire to travel across the United States, but she thought, well, I don't really have money to travel across the United States and stay in hotels. Well, her dream was, though, that she would do this. So then she began to think about creating a camper for herself. She took her car, which was a Toyota Highlander, and over the course of, I think it took her a year, I'm not sure, but I think it was around a year or a year and a half, she completely converted it into a van. And when it was all done, she said, goodbye, and off she took, and she drove from Massachusetts all the way across to Canada, and then, well, up into Canada, and then back down to California to visit her mother. And then when she drove back through the lower southern states of America. But it all started with a brain dump and a dream, and goodness, it's amazing. But don't get stuck with an overwhelming list. You don't need to do everything at once. That's why not at once. That's why I want you to break it down, and I want you to think about, okay, what can I get done? And let's say, for instance, that you want to create the habit of reading a novel, because that's pretty novel when your children are young. Most moms are not necessarily going to have the time or feel like they have the time to do that. So let's say that's what your dream is, that you want to be able to read a novel every day. I'm just going to use myself as an example, because I got to a point in my life where I was running the business. Things were so busy. I was not taking out the time to read fiction, and I love fiction, and I think it's a huge part of how we can escape the day-to-day burdens of this world and live in another world for a little bit, even if it's only 5 minutes. So what I started doing is I said, okay, I'm going to let myself read for 5 minutes in the morning before I do my exercise and get all my work done. I'm going to read the whole time I'm eating lunch, and I'm going to read before I go to bed at night. And I started doing that, and it completely transformed my ability and my opportunities to read. And now I'm reading novels all the time. I'm finishing. I'm not a fast reader, and I don't care to be a fast reader. I love savoring every word on the page. But now I'm reading, a book usually every 2 weeks. I'm finished with another novel and ready to start another one. So what I'm really saying is break it down into chunk size or mama sized chunks, whatever, that will really work for you. So, maybe you want to, exercise or do yoga. Well, go ahead and put your yoga mat out. That's a fun thing. I keep mine out all the time. I'm not so sure that that's what true yoga people do, but that's what I do. And then that way, if middle of the day I'm ready to do some more stretches, it's there. I just get down, I get those stretches done. Of course, my grandchildren just love it, and they do all kinds of things. Look, Mimi, I'm doing the downward dog kind of stuff. But small habits consistently applied, they create magnificent results. I mean, these are going to be results that you are going to be so thrilled about. We're not going for progress. Yes, we are going for progress. We're not going for perfection, because the mastery is actually in the progress. And that is what is so beautiful. And I want you to celebrate every time that you say, I just got another 5 minutes in of whatever it may be, of reading a book, of doing yoga, of practicing my instrument, playing the piano. Celebrate. And I love arms up in the air in this victory pose. Celebrate. I love, love, love to celebrate. So you're not choosing between children and dreams, because they're going to flourish together. because the things that you dream about, they are such a part of who you are. They are deep down in your soul. You are now bringing them more to the surface so you can see them. And when you start to fulfill your own dreams, you become a much happier person. And when you are a happier person, you are happier for your children. You're also giving them a very powerful message of persistence, courage, following up on what you say that you're going to do. And you can actually say to your children, hey, listen, I want you to remind me that I'm going to exercise throughout the day, or I want you to remind me that I'm going to read 5 minutes in this really wonderful book that I'm reading right now. Make your dreams visible. Write them out on paper or sticky notes, bright colors if you want to use them, and put them on your mirrors in your bathrooms. Put them on the door. Every time you walk out the door, you see this note. Oh, I'm going to read 5 minutes today, or whatever it may be. Maybe you actually want to become a really super good cook and you want to start incorporating healthy foods or dishes into your menus. Whatever it may be, write it down, put it where you can see it, and revisit that every night before you go to bed. Say, hey, how did I do on that? I mean, you're asking yourself, hey, how did I do on that? Did I really read 5 minutes today? Or did I read at all the different intervals I wanted to read? Or did I get down on my yoga mat when I wanted to? Celebrating, you're building momentum, you're creating lasting change. And if you can find other mamas that you can share your dreams with, even if it's one and maybe only one, because you don't have to have more than one special person in your life that you can share these dreams with. I prefer it to be with another woman, even though husbands are fabulous. I love, love, love husbands, but there is something unique and very special about women to women and our hearts and the way that we think. So find one other mother that you can do this brain dump or share your brain dump together and share your dreams together. So listen, if you are finding that you are frustrated with your life, that your home is not as peaceful as you'd like for it to be, I am here to help you. I love helping moms get beyond the overwhelm and the chaos and create lives and homes that are full of harmony and love and joy and creativity and curiosity. So, you know what? Reach out to me. Let's touch base. Let's find out whether you're best suited for my VIP one-on-one coaching program, or maybe the group coaching will work well for you. But let's get in touch. And remember, dump out those brains and get those dreams down on paper where you can see them, you can read them, you can feel them, and you can make a decision as to how you're going to bring that dream into your life. So thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button. And also just remember that I want you to keep shining, beautiful mamas, because you are so beautiful and so lovely. Have a great day.